Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
Okay, episode 2, day 2 of the Advent Bonanza. Calendar
Advent Bonanza.
Okay, let's dig into it.
Let's tear that little carton up.
All right, and now we have the, let's see.
We got a can today.
Yay, it's a 7.1% Seeking the Frontiers of Hoppy Beers, or as you called it, First Frontier IPA. Let's crack this bad boy open. It's a can, as Matthias had said. Oh,
Thank you for clarifying.
well, I didn't want somebody else to think it was, I don't know, something else.
That is carbonated.
Oh, that is very carbonated. Yeah, suck the head.
You made that really tough.
It's very, very frothy, very foamy.
Are you doing the same thing to yourself?
No, I'm pouring much more gentle. Much more gentle after watching you just go to town on that head. Yeah, like the first one, this is a crazy head retention. Very, very frothy. Again, very opaque, kind of an orangey color to it. Very straw, golden. Not as heavily.
You can smell the bitterness in this.
Yeah, you can smell the bit. While the day one was very citrusy, this is less citrusy,
Piney.
piney, much more bitter smelling. Let's just go ahead and give it a taste. Skål.
Skål.
That is really light. A little tangy, bitter, kind of dry.
It's got some citrus notes in there,
You know?
just a tiny bit, but it's definitely overall pine.
Yeah.
Really piney hops.
Very piney.
Super piney.
Soup's pine.
Super piney.
Like I said, we see 7.1%. And
It's 7.1?
Yeah.
It doesn't really taste like 7.1.
No, it doesn't. It's yeah, I would guess probably around 5 if I had to.
If you had to guess.
If I had to guess.
If I had a knife to your throat.
If I was forced to commit to something. Yeah, really kind of resiny and piney and
I think pine is the word here.
pine is the word. Like grease is the word. Pine is the word for here.
Yes. Just like the bird is the word.
The bird sometimes can be the word. Not always, though. Again, the can is really cool. We'll take a photo of this, or we'll have a photo posted with this. It's kind of Tool is known for their great can or their labels,
Great design
and they're
overall.
usually highly. I think they've won awards and stuff for or always highly praised for their label design. And no, I think this is another really good IPA. This one is an IPA as opposed to the one yesterday, which was just a beer,
Hopped up. Pale ale.
hopped up beer. Is hopped up beer again? Didn't say pale ale.
Oh, it is a pale ale.
All right, that's what you want to call it. Hoppy pale ale.
It is a pale ale.
Fine.
Well, this is an IPA.
This is an IPA, definitely for sure an IPA.
Yeah.
100%.
But I think the one yesterday was actually, more bitter in the aftertaste than this is.
Yeah, I think this is a bit lighter. I think the other one was a little more robust and aggressive in its flavors.
Yeah.
This is much more mellow and subtle.
And the one yesterday was like, what, 5.5%? Or just 5?
Somewhere around 5. Yeah, somewhere in that range. So it wasn't nearly as.
I think I'm more impressed by the one yesterday.
I think so too. I think it had a lot more to offer.
Yeah. And it could also be that I enjoy like the citrusy hop notes more than the piney ones.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think I like the citrus notes. It's much better.
I think the one
it's-
yesterday was a lot more drinkable than this as well.
Yeah, this is fine. I'm not as excited about it as yesterday's, as day one, but this is a good all-around generic IPA.
I think carbonation died quite fast in this as well, didn't it?
Yeah, where the
the dog walker.
Hundelufter was Hundelufter. It was
It sounded like the Swedish chef there.
that's what I'm going for.
Yeah.
All my Swedish sounds like that. And
Of
Danish.
course it does. Of course it does.
It retained. I think it retained the head better. I think it was a bit more interesting and complex. Whereas this one has really nice lacing. I mean, you're seeing like within the glass itself, it's got some beautiful receding lacing going down the side. So it still looks nice, but the head retention just it dropped really really fast.
Yeah.
Whereas yesterday's had kind of almost a meringue style, meringue-ish style.
Kind of reminded me a
Head
little bit
left
about
to
the Omnipollo milkshake.
Yeah.
Or the milkshake IPAs, really.
Yeah, this just kind of it recedes fast and still has a little bit of a frothiness on top, but overall,
I mean, overall, it's not very interesting.
no.
I mean, it's a perfectly fine, decent IPA, but it's not anything that stands out.
Yeah, I wouldn't. This is your kind of work-a-day IPA. It's not anything that you're going to rush out to get. But if you saw it in the stores and you just needed something really quick to
Quench your first.
you would not be disappointed.
No.
But there are better IPAs out there.
Yeah. So, perfectly decent, solid IPA. but
Serviceable.
Nothing overly exciting.
Yeah. So, which is a shame because I think the 7% alcohol is a little high on this. I think,
I mean, it would have been fine with like a 5%.
yeah. The 7% is just going to get you drunk, quick. So
With a pine forest in your mouth.
with a resiny pine forest in your mouth, it is like running through the forest with your mouth open, licking pine needles, just
As you do.
as you do, just getting crazy with the pine needles. Yeah. So what would you rank this?
Well, I mean, I've had more exciting IPAs before, so I think, the funny thing is, like, I've had this beer before. I just looked at my Untapped check-ins list, and I had this back in 2012.
Okay.
So when I basically just began getting into craft beer, or had been into it for a year at least, and I gave it a 3 back then, and I don't really think I would go much higher today. Even if I don't know if they've changed the recipe and perfected it along the way, but it could also be that there's been so many other players out there.
The
now.
IPA competition is so tight. I mean,
know.
you really got to bring your A game these days
Yeah.
to impress with IPAs. I mean, this is definitely not a Pipeworks level
No.
IPA.
No.
This is more of the good but kind of forgettable.
It's a run-of-the-mill IPA.
Yeah.
So it's really good for getting someone who hasn't tried a lot of IPAs into craft beer, I think.
I don't know. I think it's a little too harsh.
Really?
Harsh for that. I think it's a little. I think the one yesterday would have been even better. I think it's more
I
of a
think that was
gateway.
too bitter for it. Because
think
that's
so?
going to be more of a... I mean, yeah, I think the one yesterday is going to be heavier for someone who is not a heavy IPA drinker. Even though it was a pale ale.
So I think this is too bitter for someone that's you're trying to get into IPAs.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to have to get another can and try it.
I don't think we're going to have to do that. I think we can finish this one and we'll be fine.
Well,
yeah,
I would stick it at 3.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go 3 as well. It's perfectly fine, tasty IPA.
Kind of reminds me of a Dale's Pale Ale, but a lighter version of it.
Right. And, in a year I'll be like, did I have that? And I'll be like, oh, yeah, I did. And then we'll forget that I had it once again. So,
All right, day 2.
day 2, not a winner, middle of the road, decent but not great. So
Still
yeah.
fine.
Yeah, still fine. Still overall pleased with our with the box. So let's hope day 3 keeps the trend and improves on it.
Keeps on giving.